Good morning. We have a great segment for you today. We're going to start with news in immigration. There's three topics in immigration that we're going to talk about. The first is the undocumented immigrants, the 680 of them that were arrested in Mississippi, and why that's important for you. Then we're going to talk about the Real ID in New Jersey, what that's going to mean for you traveling within the United States, what identification you're going to need to have. And lastly, we're going to talk about individuals that were convicted of U.S. visa fraud, and what does that mean?
Calificas para ser legal, quieres saber, solo llama al abogado Andrés Mejer.
So, 680 immigrants in Mississippi were arrested. Now, the raids hit 7 plants owned by 5 companies in 6 cities. It was the largest set of arrests in one state in U.S. history. As of Thursday, 377 people remain in custody. 271 workers were released after being processed and receiving a date to appear in court. 32 were released for humanitarian reasons, and 18 were kids. They were minors. They were juveniles. They were picked up in the raids, including one as young as 14 years old. All of them were working in factories. 9 of those juveniles, or half of them, were released and not even processed. ICE has promised more worksite enforcement to come. Very important. So what happened here? You had companies that were hiring illegal immigrants and knew about it, and there were there's allegations coming out of other violations, of people informing them, that not only did they hire illegals, I mean, that's bad in of itself, but they also took advantage of them, paid them less than what they should have. For example, well, I'm going to pay you $10 an hour, but to get $10 an hour, you're going to have to work 60 hours a week. Now, if you work 60 hours a week, particularly in a factory job, it's not considered a management job, it's an hourly rate, you should get paid time and a half for anything past 40. That is one of many examples of the types of events that were happening in these factories. But it doesn't change the fact that they raided the factories, they detained the immigrants, and as far as I know, not a single of those factory owners were arrested or detained so far. But what does this mean for you? Well, it's very simple. There's going to be more raids. Worksite enforcement is going up. They said they're going to increase it by 4 to 5 times. So what can you do to prevent it? To be honest, not a whole lot, other than perhaps not work at a large company or large factory. If you do, make sure you have a valid Social Security number. Make sure you have valid work authorization, because if you do, you're not going to have a problem. It's what happens if you don't have valid Social Security number or a valid work authorization, and you're in a company like a factory that occurs in parts of Lakewood and in other parts of New Jersey, where there are a lot of factory-type jobs. Well, those could be raided at any time. This is not to scare you. It is just simply a reality, so you have to be prepared for it. If anyone is approached by ICE, you have the right to remain silent. If they come to your home, do not open any doors without seeing a warrant, and demand to speak to an attorney. Don't answer any questions without speaking to a lawyer. If you want to know these rights, just send a comment below, ask for our red card, share this video. I'll happily send it to you.